shocking truth about Jim Brown's life still leaves people stunned when they find out what really happened. So today, let's take a closer look together at the disturbing crimes that will forever be tied to his name. When people talk about Jim Brown, they often start with his legendary football career, his Hollywood roles, or his civil rights work. But behind all of that fame and success lies a much darker and troubling story, one that still shocks people to this day. Over the years, Brown's name became closely tied to a long list of disturbing incidents, many involving violence against women. And while he was never convicted of a major crime, the repeated accusations painted a pattern that's hard to ignore. Throughout his adult life, Jim Brown was arrested at least 7 times, most of those arrests tied to accusations of assault, and many of those involving women. During the time these events took place, public figures, especially male celebrities and athletes, weren't held to the same level of accountability we expect today. As a result, many of these cases never made it to court, often because the women involved decided not to press charges after calling the police. Back in 1965, Brown was arrested in a hotel room for allegedly assaulting an 18-year-old woman named Brenda Ayers. Though he was later acquitted of those charges, the situation didn't end there. Just a year later, Ayers came forward with a paternity claim, saying Brown was the father of her child. He denied the allegations and fought them publicly. Then in 1968, things got even more serious. Brown was charged with assault with intent to commit murder after a woman named Ava Bone Chin was found badly injured beneath the balcony of his apartment. Authorities believed she had either fallen or been pushed. Despite the shocking circumstances, the case didn't go far because Bone Chin refused to cooperate with prosecutors. Brown ended up only being fined $300. Not for the alleged assault, but for hitting a deputy sheriff who was involved in the investigation. In his autobiography, Brown claimed the whole incident was the result of a heated argument sparked by jealousy. He said Bone Chin had found out about his affair with Gloria Steinem. The troubles didn't stop there. In 1970, Brown was accused of assault again, this time over a road rage incident from the previous year, but he was found not guilty. In 1975, he was convicted of misdemeanor battery after attacking his golfing partner, Frank Snow. According to reports, Brown beat and choked him during an argument. He was sentenced to a day in jail, placed on probation for 2 years, and fined $500. A decade later, in 1985, Brown faced rape charges from a 33-year-old woman. Once again, those charges were dropped. Just a year after that, in 1986, he was arrested for allegedly assaulting his fiancée, Deborah Clark. She chose not to press charges, and Brown was released. Years later, in 2022, a documentary series called Secrets of Playboy brought even more disturbing allegations to light. According to several women and witnesses who were interviewed, Brown had violently raped and assaulted multiple women at the Playboy Mansion between the late 1970s and 1990s. These testimonies were graphic and deeply unsettling. The documentary also included accusations against other well-known names like Roman Polanski and Bill Cosby, placing Brown among a group of powerful men who allegedly used their fame to commit terrible acts behind closed doors. Even into the 1990s, Brown continued to find himself in trouble. In 1999, he was arrested for making violent threats against his wife, Monique. Later that year, he was found guilty of vandalism after smashing her car with a shovel during an argument. The court sentenced him to probation, ordered him to attend domestic violence counseling, and required him to complete community service. But Brown refused to follow through with the punishment. That led to a 6-month jail sentence in 2000, which he eventually began serving in 2002. Even then, he only served about 3 months before being released. Despite this long and troubling history, Brown later spoke out against violence. In a 2015 interview, he said, "There is no excuse for violence. There is never a justification for anyone to impose themselves on someone else. You need to be man enough to take the blow. That is always the best way. Do not put your hands on a woman." Coming from someone with such a long history of alleged abuse, those words hit differently. Jim Brown's life is a complex story of greatness on the field and controversy and pain off of it. His legacy will forever be marked not just by his accomplishments, but also by the disturbing behavior that can't be overlooked. Now that we've uncovered the scandal, It's only fair we talk about his career too, right? So let's jump into it. It all began back in 1957. He was taken by the Cleveland Browns as the 6th overall pick in the first round of the NFL draft. At the same time, the Syracuse Nationals of the NBA also drafted him in the 9th round. But football was where he chose to shine. Brown wasted no time making an impact. In just his 9th game as a rookie, he rushed for a jaw-dropping 237 yards in a single game. That wasn't just a rookie record. It was the most rushing yards anyone had ever had in an NFL game at the time. That record stood strong for 14 years, and as a rookie record, it lasted an incredible 40 years. It didn't stop there. A year later, in 1958, Brown shattered the season rushing record, piling up 1,527 yards in just a 12-game schedule. He also racked up an impressive 17 touchdowns that year, outscoring his closest competitor by 8. Unsurprisingly, he earned the MVP award for the season. Over his 9-year career with the Browns, Jim Brown continued to rewrite history. By the time he retired, he held records for single-season rushing and career rushing. He also had the most rushing touchdowns, total touchdowns, and all-purpose yards in NFL history at that point. He was the first player ever to reach the 100 rushing touchdown milestone, something only a handful of players have managed since, despite his early seasons being shorter than today's. Speaking of records, Brown scored 100 touchdowns in just 93 games. That record held strong for decades until LaDainian Tomlinson topped it in 2006. Brown also led the league in all-purpose yards 5 times, more than anyone else. He remains the only rusher in NFL history to average over 100 yards per game over his entire career. But he wasn't just a running threat, he was a complete offensive weapon. Brown caught 262 passes, scrambling them for 2,499 yards and 20 touchdowns. He even returned kickoffs, adding another 628 return yards to his totals. Not to mention, in every season he played, he earned a Pro Bowl invite. He saved one of his best performances for his final game, scoring 3 touchdowns in his last Pro Bowl. Jim's 1963 season remains a standout, not just for the NFL, but also for the Browns franchise. His 1,863 rushing yards that year is still the oldest single-season rushing record in the entire league. He averaged an astonishing 133 yards per game that season. Only O.J. Simpson's 1973 campaign comes close. Year after year, Brown dominated. He led the league in rushing a record 8 times and was the first player to ever rush for over 10,000 career yards. Defenses simply couldn't stop him. His 5.2 yards per carry average underscores just how hard he was to tackle. Jim Brown wasn't just powerful, he was famously efficient and durable. He never missed a single game across his 9 seasons. His combination of power, speed, skill, and endurance, plus that legendary stiff arm, made him downright untouchable. After winning his 3rd MVP title in 1965, Brown shocked the world by retiring at just 30 years old, while still at his peak. He was in England filming The Dirty Dozen and chose to hang up his cleats rather than risk fines from his team for missing training camp. Brown left an incredible legacy. His career numbers stood as standards for decades, until Walter Payton broke them in the 80s. Even now, Brown remains the Browns' all-time leading rusher and one of the most dominant players the game has ever seen. In short, Jim Brown didn't just play the game, he transformed it. He set the bar for what a running back could be and did it all in a comparatively short career that still echoes through NFL history. That wraps up today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. See you soon. Take care.